You may well have detected a few boos and jeers during that national anthem, which is what happened when they played England on Monday. But on Monday the players didn't sing the national anthem, however they did today. And I was reading a report in The Guardian online earlier when there was one Iranian politician who said they will never allow anyone to insult our anthem, and there are genuine fears for the players that they could have faced reprisals had they not sung the anthem here today. And Pat, it must be so difficult. I know we've touched upon it with Mark, but emotionally and politically charged coming into both the England game and this game for the Iranian players, and also fearing maybe for potential repercussions for their families.
There is absolutely no doubt that was in those players' minds as the camera panned along. They didn't sing that national anthem, they mumbled it because they had to, and that was all over every single face. There's a beautiful tattoo, and I don't often say that phrase, and one of the players' arms saying "Love me for who I am." There was kind of close-up of it, and it was a real moment of I wonder if that was put on quite recently. The booing that was going across, and there was a close-up of an Iranian man clearly who was in floods of tears. And you can't, was it because his anthem was being abused? Was it because they were having to sing it because of what was happening? I hope and expect it's because of what was happening back in his country. I just hope that those players can put this behind them for 90 minutes. It's so easy to say, so incredibly hard to do for those players. But they all look very, very moved by that moment, didn't they?
Yes. The Iranian support, by the way, when you look around this three-tiered bowl-like stadium under the searing sun, the heat is so intense. However, we talked before about the air conditioning. I know one of the announcers who's working out here in Qatar, and he was saying that ahead of the game, the pitch will be at around 21 degrees, and they won't allow, with the air conditioning, for the temperature to exceed anything like 27 degrees. And in fact, the air conditioning, we've got it blowing out behind us, so you can feel it on your calves. There's a real chill on the calves as we're sat here wearing shorts in our commentary position. But Pat, as ever well prepared, has brought a jacket. But the Iranian support, in fact, I can see a banner that is being bounced around in the top tier. "We love Iran," it says, but they're everywhere, the Iranian support. But then at the opposite end of where they were against the United States, there is that block of the red wall of the Wales support. Now, the other night they had about 4 blocks on the bottom tier and 1 block on the middle tier. This time they've got probably about 5.5 blocks on the bottom tier. There's another block down below, and then they've got 2 blocks of red in the middle tier behind that goal of Wayne Hennessy. Wales are in all red, Iran are in all white. Another 4 games for you live on BBC Radio 5 Live and BBC Sounds that will culminate in England against the United States at 7 o'clock tonight. Don't forget, through the BBC Sounds app, you can take BBC Radio 5 Live with you wherever you go. But certainly for the next 90 minutes, we hope to have the pleasure of your company, because Wales could take a significant step towards the knockout stages as far as Group B is concerned. This is the side. Wayne Hennessy is in goal, a back three of Mepham, Roden and Davis, Roberts and Nico Williams the wing-backs, Ampadu and Ramsey in the centre of midfield, Bale, Moore and Wilson are the other 3, playing from left to right as we look. Iran have switched, they've made 5 changes, they've gone to a 4-4-2. Hussein Husseini is in goal, Rezian the right back, Paralianji and Majid Husseini the 2 central defenders, Mohammed the left back, a midfield of Golazadeh, Nuraliahi, Estoloy and Heisafi, and then Taremi and Azmoun are the 2 up front. And Iran, who suffered that 6-2 defeat, their heaviest defeat in a World Cup against England, know that only a win for them will do. For Wales, their objective against the United States was to avoid defeat. Today, for Wales, it's all about the 3 points, and for that reason alone, Pat Nevin, we should have a good game of football.
Yeah, we were talking to some Welshmen downstairs beforehand, and they described this as Wales's World Cup final, and they meant it. They've got to win this. Simple as that. They've got to go out and got to try and win it. And you can tell right from the start, the Iranians, they're very positive. They're ultra positive way they start. In fact, those have had their kick so far.
Diagonal cross coming in from Rezaeian, the right back who'd got forward, but he's put it out of play for a goal kick. Back in 1958, Wales drew their 3 group games, and then they had to have a playoff, which they actually won. But they're looking for their first victory in a World Cup in 64 years. But there is a real quick tempo about it from both sets of players. Wilson runs out into the space, far side the left. Back towards Nico Williams, cuts it onto his right foot and shoots. And it's off target, and it goes out for a goal kick. Nico Williams, who his granddad had passed away, he'd spent a day crying in the build-up to the game against the States. It was really a tough 24 hours for him. He dedicated that point to his grandfather, and there he was with a shot that flashed off target.
And the reason why he got the opportunity, keeper Moore won the header, flicked it on. Gareth Bale must have looked at that and thought, right, he's going to win them all. I'll get on the end of something today.
Good atmosphere. You can hear the horns in the background. The Iranian flags continue to fly. The Wales supporters, I'm sure, at some stage will drop out the odd tune or two. Expect to hear Yama Houhid, that translates to still here, and they hope to still be here after they've played their final game next Tuesday against England. All 3 group games in this stadium, the Ahmed bin Ali Stadium, which is about 12.5 miles west of Doha. But certainly the Iranian support is extremely vocal here.
You know the other thing, Ian, just watching the way the system's set up just now, you've got to say Bale and Moore are getting up against man-to-man marked. They're getting no cover behind, so those two will be up against 2 centre-backs. You don't do that with Gareth Bale generally. He must get chances in this game, just by the way, the hyper-positive way the Iranians are set up.
Golazade keeps drifting in from the right-hand side, but it's Taremi and Azmoun they've got to really worry about, as this is Heisafi, lifts it forward, and it just is a floated ball. I just mentioned him, actually, Golazade making that run. So he's coming in off that right touchline.
It's closer to a 4-3-3 they're playing.
Yeah.
You know, they've got a man up front, but it's not Taremi. They're putting Azmoun up front, but you've got both Golazade and Taremi coming from behind.
The opportunity, though, that might actually give Wales, it might give a greater licence for Nico Williams to run forward. Good diving header back outside the D. It was a diagonal ball played up towards Azmoun, but it was Mepham diving back to Wayne Hennessy, all in green, in the sunshine, away towards our left-hand side. Iran are pressing Wales. Clearance is given away by Ampadu and then lifted back forward once again. Do you think that the game just needs to settle down a fraction? It's a little bit too hurried.
I don't want it to settle down. I'm loving the pace that it's going at just now. You can tell that the 2 teams they know the importance of this to them staying in the World Cup. So, you know, I don't want it to slow down. If you try and slow it down just now, the chances are you'll be overrun. So I don't think they can at the moment. It almost needs both of them to do it. I'm kind of hoping it doesn't, because it's a great lively atmosphere and it's end-to-end so far. Although no clear-cut chances yet.
That's the voice of Pat Nevin. Still 0-0. As the 2 home nations will essentially top and tail our 4 games of coverage for you today. England, the United States at 7 from the Al-Bat Stadium. Iran are on the attack. Ball played out to this near side. Mohammed, the left back, with a good cross into the penalty area. Golazade was there, it's collected on the far side. In comes the cross, Azmoun was there. Wales have got some work to do here, because Iran are getting men forward, and in fact, as Rezaeian, the right back, walks back to the halfway line, he whips up the Iranian crowd. They don't need much whipping up here inside this stadium. They're up for it, and the Iran players are up for it too, 0-0.
If you'd actually watched them playing against England, you'd say, is this anywhere like the same group of players?
Ampadu, he'd done well under pressure, try to squeeze it through to the path of keeper Moore. Here is Golazade outside the centre circle, plays it back, and now with Nuralahi out to Reza in once again, that right back, and they play the ball, but it's a good tempo. Ball over the head this time of Taremi. Asmoon, though, will make the run. A little shove in the back of Rodon, who did well actually under pressure to see it back towards Hennessy. Cushion header forward. Here is Taremi. He turns. Coming back from an offside position was Asmoon. His shot is low and it's right-footed. By the way, you mentioned the referee earlier. We've got Mario Escobar, who's an Argentinian referee. Drew Fisher is a Canadian who's in the VAR, but his assistant referees here, one's from Trinidad and Tobago, and the other one is from Costa Rica. When you talk about the inconsistencies that we've seen in this tournament so far, surely that can't help when you've got 4 different nationalities officiating the game.
Well, the hope is, communication-wise, they can all speak the same language. That's the very, very important thing when you're going through, with referees. Different nations, fair enough, the rules are roughly the same, but the ability to communicate clearly in the same language is important.
Just the second ever meeting between the two nations. The first was in 1978. It was at Ninian Park at Cardiff City, where Cardiff's Phil Dwyer got the only goal. Had such a good career at Ninian Park. What was it, 13 years that he'd spent during his time there in South Wales. And here we are in 2022, competing in the World Cup, where Wales, who'd got that draw against the United States, and if they could get the 3 points, then going into the game against England, the United States would be under real pressure, because Wales, they would know, would be on 4 points. However, Iran have started brightly. Golazadeh forward. Taremi lets the ball run through. The return then from Asmoon. It was a nice little link-up play between the two. Between them, they've scored 71 goals for Iran, so they'll have that understanding. And we saw a glimpse of it.
No, they look great just now, that front three. Golazadeh, every time he gets the ball on the left-hand side there, very lively, very positive, very direct, good skills, knowledge, sees the game well, and he's got 2 players in front of him that he can find that want to work together. At the moment, I'm not saying they're exactly hanging on, but Wales, but the better team by some distance is Iran.
Well, the United States were the better side in the first half here on Monday. Wales changed it. Much improved second half performance with the introduction of Kiefer Moore. The concern in these opening 8-9 minutes of this first half that remains goalless is that Wales haven't really kept the ball very, very well at this stage. As the ball is played by Ampadu, Ramsey joins the attack, flies in the cross from the right-hand side, low, cut out, headed away then by Mohamed, the left-back, and then Roberts forward on this near side, the right, playing as a right wing-back, but it goes away from him and out for a goal kick, and the Iranian support in that corner of the ground are jumping up and down and waving their flags as it will be a goal kick, but already Rob Page is out to the corner of his technical area, and will be hoping that his side can start to settle.
Yeah, he's trying to calm it down a little bit, just slow it down. They know they're being, they've been beaten to the ball a lot of the time. They're not winning the midfield at the moment. They haven't, I don't think I've mentioned Gareth Bale's name in commentary yet. No. So they're not getting it to the players. And certainly Kiefer Moore's had one header. So they're not getting it to the areas they need to get it to. But, you expected, we talked about this beforehand, I expected Iran to start this way. And it's about coping with it. Make sure you don't give away any stupid chances, and then you can grow into the game.
Let's get the early thoughts of James Collins, part of that Euro 2016 successful squad, of course, back at in France. What have you made of it so far, James?
Yeah, it's been a lively start from Iran. Don't know. Expected, I think. Like I said, in leading up to the game, it wasn't going to be the same sort of team or the same setup that we saw when they played England. But it's been a good start. Wales have got to get a foothold in the game, do exactly what they're doing now, keep a bit of possession, get a bit of confidence, and work their way into the game.
Well, I know Robbie Savage on 606 after the Wales-United States game was very dismissive of Iran. But Group B is the only group in this World Cup with 4 teams who are ranked in the world's top 20. And sometimes you might not take too much interest in the rankings, and Iran certainly didn't look like a top 20 side in the world against England. Credit to Gareth Southgate's side for that, but they've made a decent start. But here now are Wales coming forward with Roberts. Cross is headed down, strikes the body of Ramsey. Wales in all red, playing from left to right. Really is an excellent atmosphere inside the stadium. Hope that's coming across whether you're listening on BBC Sounds or through digital radio, BBC Radio 5 Live. Roberts on the right with a cross. Keeper Moore, great save by Hosseini. Keeper Moore, outstretched right foot, beaten away by Hosseini, and Wales were denied.
Yeah, I was really surprised that he didn't put the ball in earlier, Connor Roberts. It took a long time. They passed it and passed it and passed it. When he put the ball in, you think, what kept you? Because you've got two great targets in there to go for. He's actually got a kick in the face for his trouble there as well. I think the defender is going for the ball.
Majid
Caught him in the
Hosseini.
face, yeah. He's not, keeper actually isn't making any great complaints about it, but he's had to be brave there. Got it on target. But, you know, get it in there. You've only your two centre-backs, and as I said to you just a few minutes before, if you're marking man for man against Bale and Moore, it's a great opportunity. If you're left, if you're right, get it into the danger area and let them attack it.
He's got a cut above his left eye. So the two physios attending to at the moment. But I mean, it was a great save by Hosseini. It was a reflex save just to initially beat it out. Not too dissimilar from the Hennessy save at that end when Joe Rodon had inadvertently deflected or diverted across from the right-hand side that Hennessy was able to beat out. But James, the first real chance of the game coming to Wales.
Yeah, and Pat's hit the nail on the head. You know, that's exactly what Wales need to do. They've got a little bit of possession, sort of slowed the game down a little bit and get balls in the box. You know, we all know what Kiefer Moore can do with the right delivery, and he's shown it there. So hopefully that's something Robert Page will be drumming into the players every time they get in that position, get the ball in the box.
Well, the good news is that's James Collins back in the studio, is that he's back on his feet, and Kiefer Moore is wanting to come back onto the field of play. He's just unable to do so at the moment. The assistant referee on this near side is not allowing him to come on, and now he is, as Wales all in red playing from left to right. But a very good save from Hosseini, who had well, he's the third choice keeper really, but it was a very good save. Here is Bale. Pat Nevins quite rightly says we've hardly mentioned Gareth Bale's name, and yet he still manages to pop up at the right place at the right time.
Well, he mentioned before the game in the interviews, he's got a habit of popping up at the right time. And as a Scotsman, I can tell you it's sometimes painful.
Here is Ampadu to Bale. Moore on the stretch, lays it back to Ampadu, has to sweep it out first time. Gareth Bale, of course, who delivered here on Monday night against the United States. Many Wales fans think that he's out of this world, talking of which he actually believes that aliens are real and he's seen a UFO. That's according to Stat Boy Tom, who starred on Patrick Keelty's show on 5 Live the other Saturday. I've lost track of days we've been here. The games and the intensity of the schedule, the days are just merging into one. But it was a Gareth Bale penalty that meant that it was a 1-1 draw, and Wales now looking to build on that here at this World Cup in Qatar. Header forward by Taremi. Hasafi gives chase, beaten to it. To Azmoun, back to Golazade, he's walked into the net. The flag has stayed down, and Iran have scored the opening goal. It was a lovely interchange of passing between the two, and he couldn't hardly miss. It's a real blow for Wales. Iran are ahead by a 0-0.
I mean, the technical play between the understanding between the players, there will be at least one check for offside. At least one check for offside. It was very, very tight the first play through. Wales are absolutely convinced it was offside. They're absolutely convinced by it. We will see where that goes just now. But it was beautiful play. Little 1-2.
Onside.
Yeah, onside. It throws it there.
Offside.
Offside. I thought it was offside, I have to say.
Offside on the second phase. The return ball from Azmoun back to Golazade. So this won't count, or we're not expecting it to count, James Collins.
No, yeah, it's all come from a bit of sloppy play from Connor Roberts, but you know it's going to be disallowed for offside, thank goodness. But yeah, it's come from Wales's own doing. You know, a bad ball, costfield ball from Connor Roberts. But again, you know, the front two from Iran, you can see how they've played together for so long. You know, the understanding they've got, and you know, Wales have got away with one there.
And play back underway. The goal has been ruled out for offside after VAR, not from the first pass. It was the second ball from Azmoun to Golazadeh, who could hardly miss from close range. However, we'd highlighted it quite early on, Pat. The fact that Golazadeh keeps drifting in from the right, that has got to be, the warning has got to be heeded by Wales.
Well, he's a player. I mean, he's very good. But his understanding of the play and understanding where the gaps are, and also, well, wait a minute, his keeper's at the ball in a dangerous position.
More right-hand side, support from Roberts. Infield, right corner of the area to Gareth Bale. Bale down towards the corner flag, running away from two white shirts. He's gone down holding his face. The assistant referee has raised his flag. It was Mohamed, the left-back. I'm not too sure it was as bad as it looked from Gareth Bale.
Actually, do you know,
he's caught him just underneath the chin.
He actually has caught him. I don't think it's deliberate at all, but he has caught him underneath the chin. I hope they don't take too dim a view of that. Sometimes just with arms flailing, you can catch people, and I think that's what's happened there. I'm just going on, talking earlier on about the very interesting styles now. The technical understanding with the front three, and it is a front three from Iran, with Golazadeh and Azmoun and Tarami, is magnificent. They are top quality, and not just good for Iranian football, they are top 20. But you look at Moore and Bale, they will get chances. There is no doubt they will get chances. Really interesting. It's so hard to call, even though the Iranians actually look the better team on the ball at the moment.
So Wales have a free kick down by the byline. They're playing it all red from left to right. It's on the right-hand side. Wilson to take it. Iran have every white shirt back. The Argentinian referee is having to sort out a little bit of pushing and shoving and some squabbles in the penalty area. Keeper Moore, Mepham, the horns are blaring. Wales will hope to silence those Iranian horns. Still the jostling takes place. The referee has to settle this again.
They're scared to death of Keeper Moore, aren't they?
Yeah.
They are worried, and understandably so.
And Moore is using Ben Davies and Mepham as a shield. In comes the free kick. I think the keeper got something on that. Out of the penalty area it goes. Slipped by Nico Williams. Scoops the ball in long. Headed out by Azmoun for Iran. Collected by Wilson on this near side for Wales. Ampadu delivers the cross from the right. Azmoun, break on for Iran. Forward ball. Golazadeh has appeared on the left-hand side. Taremi's going ahead of him. Azmoun going through the middle as well. Taremi turns. The white shirts are flooding forward. Shot, charged down. Goes out towards the far side. Then it's cleared away by Rodon. Out for a throw. What a game we've got here on BBC Radio 5 Live, 0-0.
It's a cracker. You know, some of the teams in this World Cup, when they break, you think, yeah, you'll not do anything here. You haven't got the technique to be able to pick out the important and the right pass. The Iranians have got it. They have absolutely got that. Wales, as soon as they get the ball wide at any time, they look like capable of creating chances. This is a superb game of football so far.
On that far side, cross from the right-hand side, over the head of Azmoun. He's fallen to the floor, claiming he was pushed. Roberts Dennis with a clearance. He was caught by I think it was Mohamed who caught him. Roberts is back on his feet. Can I make an observation about the VAR, by the way? When Golazadeh put the ball in for the disallowed goal, he looked to the assistant referee. The assistant referee at no point raised his flag. They said with the introduction of VAR that the officials you wouldn't re-referee. Why doesn't the assistant referee still make the judgment call? He's not making the call, he's leaving it for the VAR.
I just think he got it wrong. As simple as that. He got it wrong. The assistant referee thought it was onside. He won't raise his flag then because he thought it was onside. That's what you got the VAR for, to go and say, right, OK, if it's an obvious mistake, which it was, you make the decision.
Well, certainly it was a let-off for Wales. 21 minutes played. Pat Nevin is with us here. James Collins, 51 caps during his career for Wales, is back in the studio watching on in a game that Wales have to win. Mind you, so do Iran after their heavy defeat on the opening day against England, who at 7 o'clock tonight take on the United States. John Murray, Rob Green, Kelly Cates inside the stadium from around 3-ish, did we say? Was that the instruction that by the time that Team England would arrive ahead of the kickoff? And in between that, we've got still 2 more commentaries to come. Qatar against Senegal and the Netherlands against Ecuador at 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock. And in fact, with that Qatar-Senegal game, like this one, you can watch the match with the 5 live commentary. Just look for the World Cup Extra on the BBC iPlayer. Iran coming forward with Rezaïn, the right back, and he was fouled, and it'll be a free kick to Iran, 10 yards forward of the centre circle in the Wales half. 22 minutes played, 0-0.
So far, quite impressed with the referee. Part of the reason why it's going at that sort of pace is because he is A, letting 1 or 2 little nudges go, but B, probably just as importantly, he's not got the cards out needlessly. Some referees do panic at this stage. He hasn't panicked, and that's another reason why it's been such an open, lively, fast-flowing game.
So this free kick 10 yards forward of the centre circle in the Wales half. Wales have got 6-7 red shirts on the edge of the area. Nico Williams is concerned by Golazadeh, who's staying out on that right-hand side, but there are 5 Iranian players on the edge of the area, so they're trying to protect Hennessy as best as they can. In comes the free kick. Azmoun with a header. Climbed high, directed it wide. Certainly the fact that Sardar Azmoun joining Mehdi Taremi up front, they have a genuine threat.
They have. We mentioned beforehand what their warm-up was. Their warm-up was getting the ball into them all the time, be it high, be it low. Both players are very, very good at attacking. Maybe more so Azmoun in the air, but don't write off Taremi either. He's really decent in the air, so they've been trying that. He got the end of that. I thought he was second favourite, but he almost got on target.
Azmoun plays for Bayer Leverkusen. Taremi plays for Porto. As Williams was...
I thought that was a terrible challenge.
Heavy challenge far side. He's writhing in agony at the moment, is Williams.
That looked worthy of me to a yellow card. Absolutely worthy of me. I think it was really quite... By the way, Williams has done well. Can't be that badly injured. He's rolled 2 yards back onto the pitch.
Well, he's back on his feet. He was off the pitch. Such was the nature of the challenge as they ran a pressing there. And Ampadu almost caught in possession. And then he rolled back onto the pitch. But he's in pain. Yeah, he needs to go down again.
Yeah, either go down or, to be honest, he needs to get help there. I'm sure he was caught bad. That looked like a really bad one to me, the tackle. We're going to see it in slow motion here. Yeah, his knee's done. He's just wiped out. No chance of getting the ball there. That's a terrible decision. After me saying the referee's done quite well, you've got to call that one. That's a free kick and possibly a yellow card.
Rezaïn, the right back with the challenge, who did go across to make sure that he was all right, but he's still hobbling badly at the moment. He's just trying to shake off that blow to the right leg, because it was a heavy challenge.
All the hardest defenders do that. They nail you and then they go over and shake your hand. That's not something to be applauded.
Well, you should know, Pat. You've been subject to a heavy challenge or two during your playing career. Here is Ramsey, forward for Wales, still 0-0. Left-hand side, switches play to the right. Cushion controlled by Roberts, lays it back behind him. Mepham, Ampadu. Now Wilson dropping into the centre circle, plays the ball across to Tottenham's Ben Davies. Did ever so well the other night against the United States. And now it's with Harry Wilson. Just as that happened at times in the second half against the United States, Wilson and Ramsey have rotated, so Wilson is now operating in a deeper midfield role. Ramsey's gone a little bit further advanced. Carlos Queiroz down below is complaining about a decision in his suit. He's running down the touchline to have a word with the assistant referee.
We're talking about the assistants, the one on the far side who didn't call the offside. The one on the near side, he's actually got everything wrong so far. He can't make a decision, he's hesitant, and then he just guesses.
Ampadu's forward ball. Wilson challenged on the edge of the area. Break on now for Iran. Golazadeh plays the ball forward. Azmoun tries to take it in his stride. He's up against Rodon. Rodon, well-timed sliding challenge. Went with him stride for stride, had to get in there. Williams, who's now running a little bit more freely, and then until he was bundled over once again by Rezaïn, the right back, and it will be a throw to Wales. But what a well-timed challenge from Joe Rodon.
Well, it had to be there, lots and lots of pace he was up against there, but he waited and then just a little nudge when he needed to. The referee's finally got that one right from Nico Williams. twice in a row. I don't think he wants to run up the line. Now, here's a slight concern. You talked about an injury beforehand to Azmoun. He was carrying a slight injury beforehand. He's gone down. Didn't see much in that unless he's had his toe stood on. He's holding his toe there. But sometimes that's a player who's hurt his calf and he's trying to pull it back, and that would be a concern.
Well, that was the issue for him, a calf injury that he's had since early October. In fact, he hadn't played for Bayer Leverkusen since the 30th of September. He did play in the last 13 minutes against England, but that would be a concern for him at the moment.
They're actually working, they look as if they're working on his calf. And that's a real concern. That's a real worry for the Iranians. It's great news for Wales. He has looked fantastic, hasn't he? He's been lively, he's been strong, intelligent in his play up front, and that understanding that he's got alongside Taremi. So if he goes off, that'll be a real blow to them. But Wales could do with the respite just now. I think this will help Wales. This little bit of calm time now. Go over, have a word with the manager. And he's sitting there, just down there, giving all the information as he possibly can. Just a little bit of a rest, because it's been an incredible pace.
Certainly has. If you've just joined us, it is Wales 0, Iran 0, but both sides have had chances. Roberts after 12 minutes with a cross from the right, Moore with an outstretched right leg, reflex save from Hosseini to beat it away, and then Golazadeh had a goal disallowed, and he linked up with Azmoun, and then from close range had that return ball from Azmoun to Golazadeh. He was in an offside position, and after a VAR check, it was disallowed. As we approach the half hour, we're still goalless. You're listening to BBC Radio 5 Live, and here is Wilson on the halfway line. Play is back underway, and Azmoun, after that treatment, looks to be running quite freely. Ramsey nicks it out towards Harry Wilson. Wilson keeps the ball in play in front of the bald-headed coach down below, Rob Page, decked out all in black. Not necessarily a wise choice, although at least he's now not in the sunshine, the Wales coach down below, as Wales are under pressure. From Rezaïn, the right back, who likes to get forward at every opportunity. It's a Wales throw, comes across to Ampadu, now towards Mepham. Mepham runs forward, hits a long right-footed ball. Moore heads the ball back towards Gareth Bale, hits it first time. As it drops, he was a long way out, and he was on the run, and it was a weak effort.
I know it's a Gareth Bale shot, but I thought keeper Moore could maybe have taken that in there, you know, as it was running past him. He was running along the 18-yard line. That shot's never going to beat a goalkeeper, and keeper seemed to just leave it. But he's actually unbeatable in the air, isn't he, keeper Moore? Every time the ball's played up, and he's laying off with his head, he's bringing other players into it. He's such a big part of the way that those have to play here.
Ball's on that far side to left. Wales are playing from left to right. Nico Williams, though, has lost it. He now tries to win it back from Rezaïn. Ball cleared downfield. Davies picks it up midway through the Iran half for Wales. And now inside. Wilson finds some space, runs forward, 30 yards from goal, looking for keeper Moore. It was a very good interception from Alianji, as again Rodon, reading the situation very well, prevents it from reaching Azmoun. So two watchful defenders at both ends of the field for their respective sides. Ball in field from Bale to Ramsey, gets stuck underneath his feet, has to hold off the challenge of Estoloy. Ramsey drops back towards the centre circle, now out towards Mepham. Mepham goes on a run. Roberts plays the ball inside, gets it back from Harry Wilson. Ampadu controls it, now looking towards Mepham and headed away, but in fact Ampadu was caught late. Free kick to Wales, central position midway through the Iran half, goalless.
Yeah, but a little bit better from Wales there. They're holding the ball quite well, and there's a bit of frustration that carried on through that, and that's why the foot was left in there. Definitely again a foul. There are other referees that will give a yellow card for that, there's no doubt they would, but the referee, he wants to keep this game running well. What has been interesting, he's watching very closely after the injury to Azmoun. He is actually moving okay again. That was a concern for the Iranians here, but his movement is fantastic. He always gets himself one with the defenders. So far, Mepham's actually done a brilliant job of showing him down the line and covering him. However, chance to get into the back post now for Wales.
Mario Escobar had a word with Estoloy, but there was no yellow card, just a talking to. Free kick to Wales. Iran, a line of white shirts on the edge of the penalty area. Free kick will be taken midway through the Iran half. Ramsey or Wilson to take it. Wilson leaves it for Ramsey, right-footed, rather flat ball in. Kneed away by Esteloy. Ramsey's the player who's going to retrieve it on the halfway line, and he plays it all the way back to Hennessy. So we've got 13 minutes remaining, and it's tight and it's tense. How are you feeling, James Collins?
Slightly better the last 5, to be honest, Deno. Going back to that last free kick, you know, that's a great opportunity for Wales to get the ball in the box, and it's been a couple of times now. The quality hasn't been there. You know, we talk about Kiefer Moore's size and his aerial ability, and the quality hasn't been there from set play, so that certainly has to improve.
Well, here they come with a cross. Rezaïn delivers it deep, headed away by Mepham, hooked downfield by Roberts. He kept the ball in play. Loose ball though picked up by Heysafi. His cross, a diagonal ball in from the left for Iran. Ramsey plays it back. Rodon on the edge of his own penalty area. Wilson is able to turn, and in the bright sunshine, Wales, with 12 minutes to go to half-time, slowly but surely build from the back. So we've got James Collins and Pat Nevin here on BBC Radio 5 Live as Bale to Ramsey, and Ampadu passes the ball along the ground, and Ben Davies comes forward now, the Tottenham defender, over the halfway line, accelerates, runs in field, quickly closed down, and then it's Ramsey who takes over in the shadows of the stand away towards our right-hand side. Williams heads the ball forward from the left touchline. Wilson with the cutback. Bale is there. It drops towards Roberts. Roberts plays the ball back to Mepham. Patient play by Wales, looking to go to Kiefer Moore in the inside right channel of the penalty area, and it runs away from him and out for a goal kick. Pat Nevin.
If you're Welsh and you're listening, I would almost say, and breathe, because they've been put under a huge amount of pressure that first 20-25 minutes, and just as James was saying there, feels a bit better after these last 5 minutes, and he's right to do so, because they're in the game now. They're getting a little bit more hold in midfield. I would say in that transition stuff that you get in the midfield there, the Iranians still look the better team, but it's a more even game now, and it's, you know, they can calm down a little bit. There's still some, you know, mad running about from Nurlani in the midfield there, but in actual fact, the high press, that's not happening anymore. So they've probably managed to just about cope with that. They're always going to get away with pressure. I think Wales have just about got over that.
Just over 10 minutes to go to half-time of normal time in the Ahmed bin Ali Stadium here in Qatar, as the ball is played downfield by Hosseini, the Iranian keeper, and then it's stabbed forward by Estoloy. Ramsey now picks up the loose ball for Wales. Ramsey hits it downfield, looking for the run of Gareth Bale, brought under control though by Majid Hosseini, and then Mohamed turns and hits it downfield. Azmoun up against Rodon. Rodon again under pressure, did well. He might have just jarred his back there, but once again he was right on his shoulder. Any slip by Rodon, Azmoun's in.
He manipulates the position brilliantly, doesn't he? The amount of things, the 3 centre-backs there, he's up against the 3 of them, but the amount of things he finds himself one-on-one, because he just peels brilliantly, he knows where the danger is, he's not got in the end there. But I'll tell you what, every time Rodon, Mepham and Ben Davies to some degree, they have to keep their eyes on that guy because his movement's superb.
Iran in possession, although the ball is a loose one. It's collected by Mohamed. His ball back to poor Alianji wasn't the best either, and the keeper Hussein Hosseini actually was alert to it. He came out of his penalty area all in blue away towards our right hand side, and his clearance eventually runs through to his opposite number, Hennessy. It's an underarm throw out. Ball played inside by Roberts. Ampadu was caught a little bit late by Azmoun. Wales play the ball back. Rodon, who's playing in the centre of the 3, he's got Mepham to the right, Ben Davies to the left, and here is the Tottenham player who now gets it back from Ampadu. And now it's with Ben Davies once more on that far side to Nico Williams. Williams to Bale, able to turn. Bale switches play to Roberts, who's advanced, but Mohamed with the header, with the interception. Loose ball picked up. They're dropping back a little bit here, are Iran. And the space is with Wilson, and he's picked out Nico Williams, left side of the penalty area. It bobbled for him, off his shins. He went into the challenge, he's turned, but he's run the ball out of play for a goal kick. He was unfortunate.
He was incredibly unfortunate there. I mean, he's doing some job up and down that line, Nico Williams. How much has been asked of him? He's taken a few hits already as well. But that little trick that he's got, a little flick behind, you know, the defender sees it coming, but he can't stop it. Gets to the byline and it just trundled over. And every time he makes one of those runs, it bends over. He breathes hard because there's so much effort being asked of him today.
Did you feel our little metal commentary platform vibrating? I just wonder if there's somebody nearby of a Welsh persuasion who's getting a little bit nervous and tension with his knee.
I think there's more than one. Quite a lot. We're very, very nervous at this point in time. But as I say, slightly less nervous than before, because not exactly run the fight out of the reigning team, but they were always going to start at 100 mile an hour, and it certainly isn't that just now.
Well, 8 minutes to go to half-time. Mark Chapman is with us here in the stadium. And if it's been, at times, quite exciting this first half, the second half will certainly have its moments. We've got boxing on 5 Live on Saturday night. Dillian White and Jermaine Franklin at around 10 o'clock on 5 Live from Wembley. But if you think it's still 0-0 going into the second half, these two sides will continue to trade blows, because a draw, they will effectively cancel each other out.
Yeah, you don't want that. You want to get through. You know, obviously, you could almost argue, Wales would argue that's not too bad for us, because the USA in the last game, whereas the Iranians have got England. England might go through. You know, yeah, and if you make 11 changes for England, it's still a good team. But, you know, they don't need it maybe by that point in time. So, yeah, I think both teams, for different reasons, must go for this.
And Purdue doing well, getting there in between Taremi and Nurahani. Cross from the left-hand side. Bale, it was a low one, didn't have any elevation. It was easily cut out by Hosseini, the central defender. Bale now comes forward, tries to pass it towards Ramsey. Breaks back to Nico Williams, first-time cross. Clearance by Pirelli Angie, actually struck his own player, but the last touch came off Nico Williams, and it will be a goal kick. He actually thinks it's a corner, but it did strike the Wales defender last, and it will be a goal kick to Iran. And we've got about 6 minutes to go to half-time. You're listening to 5 Live, and it's still 0-0.
Well, you talk about Nico Williams there as the full-back or the wing-back or whatever, but his start position's so high up the pitch. So that's made a bit of a change to the game. But sometimes if you are playing with wing-backs, how they play is imperative. If they get further forward, it changes the whole dynamic of the game for you. So it's imperative they get as far up as possible without leaving too many gaps at the back. And certainly Nico's got on the left-hand side time and again in this first half.
Just seen a shot of a female Iranian supporter. Just for a little bit of context, Iran remains the only country in the world where women are almost never allowed in a stadium to watch a game of football. So the fact that there are so many female supporters here cheering on Iran is certainly something that you wouldn't get in their own country. And there are a lot of Iranian supporters here with the horns that are constantly being sounded.
Do you know, oddly enough, Ian, we were talking about the support beforehand. It looks as if there's a lot of empty seats before. It looks pretty full now. It's not far off it, particularly up at the Iranian end.
Don't worry, there'll still be a crowd of around 60,000 from FIFA. And the attendance when it's announced later on. In comes the cross. It's a deep one towards the far side, and not able to keep it in play was Majid Hosseini running forward.
I talked about this in the game yesterday. I'm so surprised the teams don't use this more often. That sun is directly in the goalkeeper's eyes, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's in Hennessy's eyes. But nothing has really been put right down his throat, as it were, to go and ask him a question, to go and... Cause, I mean, it's, you know, keepers are used to it. It happens now and again. But it's not enjoyable, especially if it comes straight out of the sun. That was an opportunity to do it there, and he didn't use it.
It's still goalless. And certainly Wales have had a very, would you say, comfortable last 10 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, it's calmed down, the game's calmed down. I mean, a lot of teams will try and play, you know, that incredibly high-tempo, game. You can't do it. You cannot do it for 90 minutes, and you certainly can't do it every 3 days, this part of the season. I mean, I think we're watching it so far. I think the Japanese have been closest to being able to keep it going.
Good ball forward there. And then it's played back towards Wilson. Wilson with a shot, charged down, looking for a corner kick, and they've got one as well. It's a lovely through ball. I think it was initially aimed towards Kiefer Moore, who actually got a touch to it, and then Wilson hit it first time. Corner kick to Wales.
And this is one of the biggest opportunities that Wales get, you know, the set pieces or the corner kicks. Now, the last free kick they took wasn't taken well at all. You can allow to give it some air. I mean, Moore is so good in the air. We know Gareth Bale's good in the air as well. And you've got the three centre-backs that can come up, so, you know, don't hit the first man.
Corner kick on the right-hand side. The goalkeeper, that's a very good take. Backpedaling. He had Kiefer Moore coming in from behind him, and it was a really confident take by Hussein Husseini.
He had to get it. Kiefer Moore was free, wasn't he? Absolutely free behind him for the little nod in. Now, they'll tell you that's what their plan is. If it's in the 6-yard line, it's the goalkeeper's ball, but you know, you can't take too many chances there and leave Kiefer Moore on his own.
He was the 20th minute substitute against England when Berenband suffered that blow and had to leave the field with concussion. There's a forward ball towards Taremi. Mepham holds him off outside of his penalty area, and he's going to try and marshal it out for a goal kick, but it didn't have the pace on it, so then he had to make the clearance. Out of play it goes for a throw. This is Haisafi, the captain for Iran. Plays the ball back. Pouralianji switches play out towards the right-hand side. It's a lofted ball. It's a good aerial duel, won by Nico Williams. Loose ball picked up by Ramsey, and Wales get a throw on the halfway line on that far side to left with 2 minutes of the half remaining. They take the throw quickly down the left. Ramsey doesn't get any change out of Husseini, who brings the ball away. Plays it low towards Taremi. Sharp little turn. Got away from Wilson, but not so from Mepham. And Wales are back in possession, all in red, playing from left to right. Ampadu takes over. Moore had made the run. Nobody spotted it. Had to go back to Ampadu. Now he floats the ball forward. Gareth Bale, beaten in the air, drops to the feet of Moore, bounces away from him. Late flag. It was, I think, for Gareth Bale.
Yeah, but why not just play on?
Yeah.
They're in a brilliant position, the Iranians, to break there. They're fuming about that, and they've absolutely every right to be feeling it. Taremi's getting the ball in the midfield. That is probably where they're best at the moment. Breaking through the centre, playing little 1-2s, that front three that we were talking about before. I understand why they're fuming about that, but Wales should be delighted, which I think they are.
It's going to be the free kick to be taken by Husseini. Strikes it long, right-footed. Rodon shows his strength. Throws Azmoun to the ground. Iran, though, pick up the loose ball. Played out by Nurulahi. Rezaein, the right back, looking for the return ball, and he's not going to give chase of that to the sunshine. Out it goes for a goal kick, 0-0.
I've just figured something out. Go on, it's taken me a wee while to figure this one out. I was amazed by how few Iranian fans were in before the game. I couldn't believe it, because I know what Iranian fans are like. They love following their team, and they come in big numbers. They stayed away from the anthem, didn't they? They've absolutely stayed out for the anthem.
Yes.
And look at it now. It's completely mobbed there.
Yeah. Those that were inside the stadium booed the Iranian national anthem.
The thing is that I think they're worried about people seeing them booing the anthem.
Yeah. Here is Ampadu. Bale. Away from Nico Williams. Edge of the area, it's cleared by Husseini, the defender. Didn't kept in play on that far side. So into stoppage time, of which there is an additional time of 4 minutes. 4 minutes additional time. BBC Radio 5 Live. Still to come. Qatar, Senegal from 1. Netherlands, Ecuador at 4. And then England against the United States at 7 o'clock. Wales with a throw left-hand side. Ben Davies rides up the chest for Mepham, hits it right-footed, forward, downward header, back by Connor Roberts, picked up by Ramsey, right-hand side, plays it to Roberts. Roberts with the first-time cross, cleared away on the stretch by Husseini. Here is Ramsey. He plays the ball in field. Ampadu tries to switch it back out towards the right. Interception from Mohammed. Wales, though, with their own interception, courtesy of Mepham, and Wales now with Roberts, charged down by Haisafi. The ball is volleyed up forward. Good control by Azmoun. Out to Golazadeh. looking for the run of Taremi ahead of him. Taremi enters the penalty area right-hand side, holds the ball up with his back to goal, waits for some support, plays it ahead of him down that right-hand side. Golazari down by the byline. Back it goes now to Rezaïn, the right back, right corner of the area. Iran in stoppage time. Now the cross comes in. Azmoun slides in with his feet 6 yards out. Couldn't get a telling touch. Out of play it goes for a goal kick. You're listening to 5 Live. It's still 0-0.
Yeah, but as ever, Azmoun, he is a super centre forward, isn't he? Every time the ball's put into a danger area, he's very close to it. The Welsh defence has been fantastic so far to manage to stop him. Rodon gets in the right area there. They're learning a bit more about it. Meckham a couple of times has got in front of him, but that was, I see inches, 6 inches, 5 inches, no more than that. Really, really good move by Iran. But it's a 0-0, but it's one of the really great 0-0s. I'm really enjoying it.
Hennessy taking his time with the goal kick. Moore tries to get on the end of it, but it bounces its way through to the left back, Mohamed. Volleys it away downfield. Davis heads it forward, gets plenty of distance on that too. Back it drops towards Mohamed, the left back for Iran. Flicked on then by Heysafi. Taremi's going to run in behind, and Rodon didn't get there. Rodon was late, and Joe Rodon's going to get a yellow card, and he knew it as well. Taremi was brought down, Rodon is booked.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where he's committed to it, and he's realised when he's committed to it, I shouldn't be doing this, because if I don't get it, I'm going to get a yellow card. If he'd have just slowed down and just shown him down the line, it wouldn't have gone anywhere. But I think Rodon's really angry with himself. Do you know what? He got there in time, but completely missed the ball. Yeah. It wasn't that he got late, he just missed the ball.
Up until then, his reading of the situation and his timely interventions, you couldn't fault him. So now he needs to certainly be disciplined throughout the rest of the game. He's on a yellow card. The free kick is just probably no more than a foot in from the left touchline, and it's Heysafi who's going to take it. They've got one in the wall.
It's a tempting possession, Ian. A very tempting possession for a left footer. There's a massive gap for him to find between the defenders and the goalkeeper here.
Hennessy's 2 or 3 yards off his line, arcs its way in now, the free kick. Pulled back, Taremi has a shot, never really got hold of it, looking for maybe a handball from Gareth Bale, as it dropped rather awkwardly from the left-hand side. It almost presented an opportunity for Azmoun. Shot comes in from distance and gathered in at the second attempt by Hennessy from the effort from Nouralahi.
They're still going on about the handball. I mean, they'll be looking at it, obviously. My initial thought was it hit his hand. Question is, was his hand raised? Was it away from his body? They will be checking it.
The referee, though, blows his half-time whistle, and after a very exciting first 45 minutes, it remains Wales 0, Iran 0. Moore certainly had a good chance for Wales after 12 minutes. Iran have had a goal disallowed 4 minutes later, which was the correct decision, but in a game where both sides need to win, we are yet to have the opening goal. Goalless, Mark.
It's a fascinating game, isn't it? And it's really ebbed and flowed. It was almost as if the disallowed goal for Iran that was overturned by VAR just deflated them a little bit for 15 minutes. Plus, they couldn't keep up at that lick.
There was no chance of them keeping up at that, but you understood why they did it. We talked about it before the game. I mean, everyone, it was Danny was talking about it, James was talking about it, I expected it as well, to come out at that pace, but they didn't get the reward they needed. And it would be silly to keep on going at that level. They're not capable of it. Also, they're capable of playing other ways as well. When you watch the Iranian team now, to be honest, this is a top team. They are technically very good. Didn't see that coming, did you, after the England game? But, you know, from midfield, the two strikers working together, I have to add on Golazati as well on the right-hand side. If Wales get out of this and win this game, what a job they've done.
Yeah, he was the one of the front three that we didn't mention at the start. And that, arguably, he's been the most impressive of the front three. He plays his club football for Charleroi in Belgium.
But the thing about it, if you're playing against a back three and a wing back, and you're a wide player, that's where the gap is. So you know that's where you're going to get the gap. If you can lose, and he did lose Nico Williams a couple of times, but Nico's doing the whole flank. So he got behind there, and as soon as you get behind there, you've got space in front of you, and you're drawing defenders out. But he's got his head up. That already in this World Cup, I've seen many players get the ball in those positions, the head's down, and you think, oh, goodness sake, get your head up and see the opportunities. He's one of those players, because he knows he's got two strikers ahead of him who've got great understanding, and they are very clever indeed.
Joe Rodon probably been Wales' best player, James Collins, and now he's got a very difficult second 45 minutes on a booking.
Yes, it's negative really from a Wales point of view that Joe Rodon, our centre half's probably been our best player, but as Moon, I must say, up front has been brilliant. We knew his quality before the game. It just worries me a little bit that Joe Rodon's been left. It seems he's been left one-on-one 3 or 4 times. I know Wales are trying to press, but you can't carry on like that. Clearly, the 3 lads up front for Iran are technically good. They understand each other. They can, they're into changing of movements really good. So as far, Wales have defended well against it, but I wouldn't like to see Joe Rodon or any of the back 3, Ben Davies or Chris Mepham, left one-on-one with them with space, because, like I said, they've got quality and can punish any team.
And Iran are more than happy to wait and hit you on the counter and leave that one-on-one. Definitely,
Chad. They've done it numerous occasions, and they're quick on the counter as well. They're letting Wales have the ball sometimes in front of their back 4. And I must say again, when Wales do get into that position when they have got the ball, their quality from cross it. You've got Kiefer Moore. We keep mentioning his name. You've got Kiefer Moore in the box there. The quality's is not been there from set plays and from open play with crosses.
Just get it in the box.
Yeah.
I mean, I know
with
that.
Quality,
I know that sounds quite simplistic, but the one time they did get it in, there was a chance in it, and he forced to save.
The corners as well, chappers, and the free kicks. We're trying to whip this ball in, and the majority of times it's hit the front man, or it's been poor quality. Why not? You've got the big man in the box. Just lift it, get it into an area where Kiefer Moore can attack the ball. He might not score, he might get a header on target, but what he will do, he'll cause a bit of carnage, and the ball might drop to a Gareth Bale or an Aaron Ramsey or someone to tap it in. So certainly defensively they've done well. I wouldn't like to see him defending like that, as in that much in the second half, but certainly the quality into the box has definitely got to improve.
4 games today in total here on 5 Live and across BBC Sound. Second half next. Then our second game is Qatar, Senegal. We'll preview that shortly. And don't forget, this evening, England against USA. It is a 7 o'clock kickoff. Full commentary here on 5 Live. It is 6 minutes shy of 11 o'clock. Lisa McCormick has the news.
Take the World Cup with you. Qatar 2022.
On BBC Sounds, this is BBC Radio 5 Live. Nurses in England, Wales and Northern Ireland are set for one of the biggest walkouts in the NHS's history. The Royal College of Nursing has announced strikes on the 15th and 20th of December in a dispute about pay. The government says the union's demand for a 19% increase is unreasonable. Nick Hume is head of the East Suffolk and North Essex NHS Trust. He says they're prepared for disruption.
We've been very careful to make sure that we can protect those emergency services, going through all of our services with our nursing staff and with the unions to identify those areas that obviously they're the obvious ones in terms of the A&E departments and the paediatric A&E, emergency theatres, emergency surgery.
The government says it wants to make the sharing of doctored porn images online without consent a crime in England and Wales. So-called deep fake images involve a person's face being put on someone else's body. The Justice Secretary, Dominic Raab, says he wants to close loopholes in the law. Campaigners claim the police are failing to investigate complaints and support victims of stalking. The National Stalking Consortium says only 5% of cases in England and Wales result in someone being charged. They've launched a super complaint highlighting trends in the way that forces approach stalking. The actor Emma Corrin is calling for male and female awards at film ceremonies to be replaced with a single gender-neutral category. They're non-binary but won a Best Actress award for their portrayal of Princess Diana in The Crown at last year's Golden Globes.
It's difficult for me at the moment trying to justify it in my head being non-binary and being nominated in female categories. But really the conversation needs to be about having more representation in the material itself for non-binary people, for queer people, for trans people. When more actors are playing those roles, then I think there will be more of an urgency with which these questions will be addressed.
And experts are predicting a quieter Black Friday this year because of the rising cost of living. They say overall sales and profits will be lower than last year, despite more people heading out to the high street. It's the first festive season without COVID rules for 3 years.
The World Cup on BBC Sounds.
With coverage of every single game on 5 Live.
Oh, what an amazing goal! Kylian Mbappe!
Expert analysis and debate with some of the biggest names in football on the World Cup Daily podcast.
What Gareth Southgate wants is that they can perform under the most intense pressure they will ever experience.
And a bit of fun in Match of the Day Top 10 with Gary Lineker.
Micah Richards is back along with Alan Shearer and myself for the biggest international football tournament on the planet.
Take the World Cup with you. Listen on BBC Sounds.
BBC 5 Live. The FIFA World Cup, Qatar 2022 with Mark Chapman.
0-0 at half-time between Wales and Iran. Second half on the way. BBC Sports' Nesta McGregor has been in the ground and has now gone back outside the ground to talk to us before coming back in the ground. I'm guessing for the second half. Is that how it works?
Yeah, I'm getting my steps in. Can I say, chappers, silence has never felt so good because that is arguably the loudest stadium I've ever been into. I've got one of those watches that lets you know when you've been subjected to excessive audio levels. It's given up, mate. It's not having it.
God blimey, you all have been sat near the PA at England-Iran on Monday, which was, I think, the loudest PA I've ever heard anywhere on the planet. It has been one of the better atmospheres at this World Cup, hasn't it, actually? And the Iranians are much more here in much greater numbers than they were for that England game.
Yeah, absolutely. It's almost like a home game for them. And where we're sat, there is an elderly gentleman who, despite his, frail frame, is the orchestra of the entire stadium. And every now and then, he kind of gets up. He's got one of those, it's not a vuvuzela, but something similar. And he's literally conducting the crowd. I've never heard a throw-in, a goal kick, a tackle, applauded the way it is. We've had to stand for most of the first half because no one around us is sat down watching anything. It's loud, it's busy, it's great atmosphere, despite maybe it not being the best football, but the atmosphere is definitely top notch.
Yeah, which may have been a surprise, actually, certainly at the start when the ground was maybe 60% full. Pat made the point in commentary that maybe a lot of the Iranians stayed out until after the national anthem before coming in. We'd also heard that Welsh fans had issues coming from Dubai into Qatar because of issues with the hire card, which is the equivalent of a Qatari visa that we all need to get into the country.
Yeah, both those things are true, and we've been to stadiums where they perhaps have been not at capacity for other reasons, but yeah, we don't have exact numbers on those Welsh fans, but we know that some of them travelling from Dubai, like you say, you need a match ticket and a visa to enter the country. The visa issuing app crashed this morning, so fans have been unable to fly. I think it's just an hour flight as well. It's obviously not ideal, but more importantly, it's not a cheap mistake to be caught up in with packages, for these games, chappers costing thousands of pounds.
There are also the discussions about the rainbow bucket hats as well, which, I'll be honest, when you're in this position in the commentary position and looking out towards the Welsh fans, it's difficult to tell which bucket hat is which, really.
Yeah, and again, earlier this week, the Welsh FA and FIFA did say that Welsh fans complained about getting into the USA game with rainbow flags and rainbow bucket hats. We were told the message would get through to security on the ground that Welsh fans would be allowed in, and so far I did hover around security before the beginning of the match, didn't see any of it, and there is plenty of them inside the stadium as well. Also before kickoff, you might have seen that the Welsh team did have rainbow inspired kind of logos down the side of their arms as well. So on that ground, all good so far when it comes to not having items confiscated.
How many games are you doing today? You did 3 the other day, didn't you, with starting with Japan, Germany. How many are you doing today for us?
Yeah, I try not to talk about that. With this being a World Cup, held in an area the size of Newcastle, fans being able to watch multiple games is a unique selling point, chappers, but I wouldn't recommend it. Like you said, I did 3 games in one day. And it wasn't even the football that did me, it was the walking. 31,000 steps, so that's equal to 22 kilometres worth of walking, half a marathon, not including the 10 trains, 2 buses and 1 emergency taxi ride. So, you can be love drunk, you can be food drunk. I was definitely football drunk. If I never saw another football match ever again, it would be too soon.
BBC Sports' Nesta McGregor, thank you very much. Get yourself back in the ground for the second half. Next up today, the second of our 4 games, Qatar against Senegal. Stephen Warnock, part of our commentary team for this one. Senegal win this, do they?
Yeah, you'd think so. You look at Qatar and you just think after the first game how poor they were. Didn't really show any quality at all, and from a Senegal point of view, they need to respond. They need to get a victory to get themselves some points on the board, and I don't see anything different than that.
Well, they do, don't they? And actually, if they match Ecuador's result, I mean, you'd assume that Netherlands will win this group. But if they match Ecuador's results against Qatar or even better it, then it all comes down to that final group game when they play Ecuador.
I'm not so sure about that, you know.
Are you not?
I've got Ecuador in the sweep, so I'm fully backing them.
Good to know that the opportunity to win some money affects your punditry. I like that.
The one thing I will say is Ecuador, the other night, yes, it was an easy game for them, but they do pose a danger. They are a tough team to play against. I think anyone watching this World Cup so far, we've seen that the teams aren't sitting.
Quicker to Kiefer Moore.
Yeah, for sure, chaps. This is a huge 45 minutes for Wales. The World Cup dream is lying on this 45 minutes. There's no doubt about it. And like I say, the quality wasn't there first half. You know, they got the ball in the right areas on a few occasions, and just didn't get the quality into Kiefer Moore. You know, we all cried out for him to play. If he's playing, you've got to play to his strengths and get the ball in the box. I see, watching the game, I can see him, sort of saying to his players, certainly to the wing backs who are getting high up the pitch, get the ball in the box, but not just get it in there, get it in with quality so he can go and attack. And like I said previously, it's not about him getting the first head, it's the carnage he could cause the Iranian defenders. So hopefully Robert Page has got that across to the players, because this is a big 45 minutes for Welsh football.
Well, in the first game of the World Cup for Wales, they had a poor 45 minutes against the USA and then turned it round in the second. Will they do the same here? Ian.
Thank you, Mark. Back underway. Neither side to make a change. Wales all in red, playing from right to left as we look, are attacking the end where their supporters are housed, still bathed in the sunshine. But we can't say it's strictly the Welsh end. We can say it's the W end, as I noticed there is an Iranian flag in amongst the Welsh support with Walsall FC emblazoned across it. As this is the Welsh side. Hennessy in goal, Mepham, Rodon and Davis. Roberts and Williams are the wing-backs. Ampadu and Ramsey in the midfield. Bale, Kiefer Moore and Harry Wilson. For Iran, who are all in white, playing from left to right. Hussein Husseini is in goal. Just break off because Mohammed charges forward and sends over a cross, which is a deep ball in from that left-hand side, and that'll be a Wales throw. So Hussein Husseini is in goal. The defence of the right-back Rezayan, Pouralianji, Majid Husseini and Mohammed. A midfield of Golazadeh, Nurahali, Estoloy and Heisafi, and then a front two of Azmoun and Touremi. Carlos Queiroz, great success when he was assistant to Sir Alex Ferguson with the 2 Premier League titles and the Champions League. In his suit, in this technical area, watching on, because for both of these two nations, these next, 44 minutes now will be crucial as to whether they have a realistic hope of reaching the knockout stages.
They are massively crucial, and it'll be unusual things that might make a difference. I mean, looking for it player for player, the Iranian team has looked the better team. However, there is the Bale effect. The problem is Bale has had no effect whatsoever in the game so far. And you have to be open about that and honest about that. Gareth has been unbelievably quiet so far. This, you know, the amount of times in the past you thought, is he going to turn up? And he turns up. He has to turn up quite soon.
Well, before the 90 minutes against the United States on Monday, he'd had just 29 minutes of football since the 18th of September. But we know what he's capable of. And at the minute, Gareth Bale is just hoping for that one moment.
Yeah, he's holding himself in reserve, keeping himself fit. I mean, if he went at 100 miles an hour, he wouldn't last the game.
Here is Azmoun picking up on a loose ball that was played at quite pace into the penalty area, as Wales now have it back in the hands of Wayne Hennessy, who berates Roberts over on that far side and rolls it out now to this near side, the left, for Ben Davies. Aside from that cross from Roberts for keeper Moore with an outstretched right foot that the keeper Husseini did well to keep out, haven't really created enough.
No, they haven't. And again, it is about what are your strengths. If you know what your strengths are, then play to them.
Ball forward, just away from Ramsey, and picked up by Husseini, all in blue.
That's how we change them, Ian. That is a change. I've noticed already in this half, Ramsey's made 3 of those darting runs from the midfield area. Maybe it'll be that's just a little technical change they've made there, just to push them that little bit further forward, Ramsey anyway.
Hennessy rolls it out again to Davies. He goes back now to Rodon. He's got to be disciplined. He was booked in that first half for a challenge on Touremi. Mepham approaches the halfway line. Bale with a layoff, kept in play by Roberts. Poor ball though from the right-hand side, easily cleared by Husseini. And now Iran up towards Azmoun, Sadat Azmoun, but it's away from him.
He finds himself one-on-one with Rodon again, doesn't he? Yeah, every time he does it. Now, whether it's brilliant movement from him, from Azmoun, or whether it's the fact that back 3, they're not covering each other. Somebody goes to mark him, get behind him, give your mate cover. It's just not happening just now for the Welsh, and I can see why there is a concern in that area.
Iran, against UEFA opposition in a World Cup, have never won in 9 attempts. They've lost 7. They have drawn 2 as Kiefer Moore looks offside. Flag stays down, now it's up. Right corner of the area, so they've drawn 2. It's Portugal in Russia in 2018. I can't think who the other team was that Iran drew with in the World Cup before from a UEFA opposition.
I should know this. I've got that look in your face. And I know exactly who you're talking about. And shut up. That's the correct answer.
For those who don't know, it was Scotland in 1978.
No, we actually wiped that from the history books. It doesn't exist. 78 was skipped. We went from 77 to 79 as a footballing nation.
I think that's why sometimes Pat refers to me as a plastic friend.
Yes.
Here is Moore. And any friends north of the border, I was only teasing.
He was only teasing, and apparently Archie Gemmill scored a good goal that tournament.
There is the myth that some Scots fans never returned from Argentina in '78. Here is Ramsey picking up a loose ball for Wales. They're yet to lose in a group stages of a World Cup. However, they've got some concern now. Ball played forward. Azmoun runs into the penalty area. Azmoun hits the post. Right-footed, strikes the right-hand post. Comes out to Golazade. Golazade shapes to shoot off his left foot. Carrying effort. Hits the other post. Rebound saved by Hennessy. Oh, what a double let-off that is for Wales. The right post was rattled. The left post then was rattled. And Wales are still somehow level at 0-0. Iran so unfortunate on 2 occasions.
Do you know, the run from Azmoun, is that not exactly what we've been talking about the last 10 minutes or so? And then in the first half, you cannot go one-on-one with a player like that. No chance. He will eventually get through. He will eventually get beyond. And he's just unlucky there. It was a great hit inside the post. Didn't quite go in. And then his mate, it was Golazade, wasn't it? Left foot, cutting him from the right-hand side. He's nearly scored as well. They need to do something about that, Wales, because it's happened time and time again. They find themselves 1-on-1. The 3 at the back, they have to work together better, give each other cover. They're not doing it.
It's another let-off for Wales, still drawing 0-0 against Iran. What about the follow-up save as well from Hennessy? Bale with a cross on the right-hand side. More challenges, it's looping, and it drops onto the roof of the net and behind for a goal kick, and was still goalless. I think it was from Azmoun for the Hennessy save.
I mean, he's done well. Do you know, it's a simple technical thing. What's happening in Wales, even during normal play, they don't get a defender to wait behind the other defender. They just leave him. So I'm watching the game out of play here. And I think all the time Rodon is left 1-on-1. All the time. Why have 3 centre-backs when only one of them's marking? It seems bizarre.
It's a goal kick for Iran. There's activity down below. Dan James is going to be coming on. The only change that Rob Page made coming into this game. The first competitive match that James actually hasn't started since Slovakia in March 2019, which is a run of 34 games. So he's going to be coming on. Who will go off as Ramsey was challenged there, and that will be a free kick to Wales in a central position. Brennan Johnson is another option, and in fact it might be a double change. We might still be seeing Brennan Johnson. I can see 2 heads, but not the... It is Johnson. As now all of a sudden just the top of their heads I could see. But this is a free kick, but it's a long way out. Gareth Bale has scored some spectacular goals in his time, but he's not there. It's Ramsey, Wilson and Ampadu who are the 3. But we're a good 30 yards out from goal, 0-0. Ramsey leaves it, Wilson to take it, left-footed, right down the throat of the goalkeeper.
What a shame there. That's the one you need to give your centre-forward a chance to go and attack. Far too much air in that one.
Ball played forward, kept in play by Roberts. Nimrolahi inside to Taremi. Taremi strikes the chest of Ramsey, and Hennessy will prevent it from going behind for a corner kick. Yeah. So James and Johnson to come on.
Yeah, I mean, certainly the pace, we know about James's pace, and it just isn't working for Wales just now. And I think they're hitting the post twice there, and the fact that you're under such pressure, he's thought, I can't wait any longer. If you keep on playing like this, we're eventually going to lose a goal and lose the game. So I understand why he's making the change now.
Diagonal ball searching towards Wilson, who's made the run through from midfield. You're listening to 5 Live and BBC Sounds. The first of 4 more games. Nice little layoff by Azmoun, flicked out by Taremi. Golazade will get there first. Williams has to retreat. He's twisting and turning. Golazade tries to wriggle away from him. Still with the ball at his feet, right corner of the area. There's a real step for Iran coming forward.
They're playing with such incredible confidence just now. You know, sometimes you can hit the post and it can have a negative effect. It's had a positive one.
Golazade with a cross in towards Taremi. Comes out to Hessafi. That was blocked, cleared away. Wales at the minute are on the back foot. Much improved performance from Iran. Cross from the left, blocked. It'll run forward towards the corner flag, and Mohammed will make sure that it goes out for a corner kick, and it is Iran who had taken the game here to Wales, and Rob Page has to make the change.
No, he won't want to make it a corner kick. Not under this sort of pressure. He won't want to do that. He'll call this substitution off just now. But they are under massive pressure. And the players will know that. And they've held on before. Wales know how to do this. But they're against a very, very good attack-minded team who are playing with incredible confidence in the second half now.
Both sides realistically have to win. It's still 0-0. Iran, all in white, left to right, corner, left-hand side. Good header away by Kiefer Moore on defensive duties in that crowded penalty area. Picked up by Estoloy. Estoloy's cross, headed away, falls towards Wilson, able to turn, caught in an Iranian sandwich, and he rides around, and it'll be a free kick to Wales in a central position, as now the double change will be made. Brennan Johnson and Dan James to come on. Let's get the thoughts of James Collins. James?
Yeah, this substitutions are desperately needed, Dano, to be honest. You know, if I'm Rob Page, I think he's got to go to a four at the back. You know, I know we're playing three centre-halves, but it can't keep happening in this space that the front three for Iran are getting. You know, it seems like there's not a lot of communication going on with the back three. Nobody really knows who they're picking up, and they're finding far too much space. And like I say, hitting both posts, and a great save from Wayne Hennessy. Really, Wales should be down in this game. So hopefully these substitutions have an impact on Wales, because they certainly need to get in this game.
Well, James, just as you did on Monday night, you've called it spot on once again, because that is exactly what Rob Page has done whilst you were talking. Brennan Johnson has come on for Connor Roberts, and Dan James has replaced Harry Wilson. And here is James with a cross straight away into the penalty area, drops towards Kiefer Moore, edge of the area. It's been touched away by over the head of Brennan Johnson, so they have now gone to a back four. So Ben Davies is playing as the left back, Mepham and Rodon as the two central defenders. Nico Williams has switched to right back. And then we've got Dan James on the left of the midfield, Brennan Johnson on the right, Bale is alongside Kiefer Moore up front, and you've got Ramsey and Ampadu in the centre of midfield.
It's brave, isn't it? But it has to be brave. You've not got an option. You have to go for it. And sometimes you can change a game. It seems really odd. You're under pressure, so you take off a defender. It sounds counterintuitive, but in actual fact, it probably is the right thing just now, because Wales, and let's not forget, Iran are both running out of time just now. Somebody needs to win this game.
Yeah, well, the final set of matches you would probably favour. I know Iran suffered a heavy defeat, but if England were to beat the United States earlier on, you'd have Wales on 2 points, the United States on 1, and Iran on 1. And then the United States and Iran play each other next Tuesday, whereas Wales will be hoping that Gareth Southgate, if England were to beat the States and would have qualified on 6 points, would make them numerous changes. But all of a sudden, it would be out of their hands.
He's had quite a few injuries. I've not even checked yet, but I'm guessing it's Azmoun, because he doesn't do anything at half pace, does he? Everything's 100 miles an hour. He gives every single bit to every single challenge. He's actually been brilliant this afternoon. He's limping off, but he won't want to stay off. He'll want to get back on again.
Wales, if they could win here today, would know that they could avoid defeat against England and that they would be through. If they don't win this one today, they're then relying on favours. Azmoun has had lengthy treatment, and he will be looking to return to the fray. We've been playing for nearly an hour. 5 Live and BBC Sounds here in the Ahmed bin Ali Stadium. And it is extremely tense as it remains goalless. So they're now matching up Iran with a 4-4-2. Ball is hit forward. James has made the run. Rezaein with a clearance, only as far as Ramsey, wouldn't drop for him. Nurulahi with a clearance away for Iran. Wales now with Williams on that far right-hand side to Brennan Johnson. Brennan Johnson looking to try and make a bit of a difference, the substitute. Helped out by Williams, plays the ball back. Still to the constant backdrop of the horns. Cross comes in from the right-hand side. It was a deep one. from Ampadu, and it rolls out of play for a goal kick.
Made a difference, James, hasn't he? He keeps on making those runs on the left-hand side. Well, we all know about his pace. Certainly hasn't lost any of it today. He's got behind a throwback a couple of times now, and that might push them a little bit further back. And Rezaian, he's the one who's having to mark him just now, and he was doing well getting forward before. He won't be getting forward now.
You were so right about the amount of Iranian supporters who stayed out of the stadium for the national anthem. Of course, the protests continuing, anti-government protests back in Iran, such as the civil unrest. But now, as you look away towards that right-hand side, there are so many up and out of their seats, all in white, with the flags flying, hoping to see their side get a win to progress in this competition. And because of the horns that are constantly blaring, we've hardly heard the red wall away towards our left-hand side with 28 minutes remaining. Ramsey to Moore. James doesn't get away from Hosseini, who keeps the ball in play, and helped out by Rezaian, plays it forward. Estoloy with a clearance, back it goes though for Wales. Moore loses out. Estoloy with the back heel, taken on now by Hisafi, running forward. Wales player has taken a tumble, that was Ampadu. Now it's with Taremi, he's got options left and right. Taremi plays the ball forward, and running back was Dan James to concede the corner and just take it out of the path of Golazadeh, who'd made that run on the right-hand side.
We've actually got a game now that feels like a knockout cup game. That's exactly how it feels. Wales are going to try and push it the other way. Gareth Bale's the only one staying up. They've got a little bit more pace on the as ever. When they break, the Iranian side looks superb. They were very unlucky not to get through there.
Corner kick to Iran, 0-0. It's left-footed. Actually went towards goal there. It was well claimed by Hennessy. Throws it out underarm. Now it's with Ramsey running forward. It has got the feel of a cup tie. Pat Nevin is absolutely spot on. Far side, Brennan Johnson tries to wriggle away from the challenge. Goes on the outside of Mohammed, but Mohammed is back goal side to prevent the cross coming in, and then brings it away for Iran. Helped out by Hisafi. Wales win it back. Ampadu plays it short, diagonal forward. Johnson now coming in off that right touchline, edge of the area. Challenged by Mohammed once again, who wins the ball. Counter-attack now is on forward, get Iran. It's 3 against 3. The white shirts are coming forward. Ball played out towards Taremi. Taremi now enters the penalty area. Menacing. Block comes in. Good block by Ampadu. Behind for a corner kick. Some of the players are flat out on their feet. 0-0.
Yeah, I mean, the energy levels have been brilliant in this game. But it's because it's a long game. You're having to sprint 70 yards, then 70 yards, then 70 yards. There's not a lot of control play in that midfield there. They're just hammering up and down. That absolutely takes its toll on every player, and certainly you can't. The substitutions are going to be important now. You've got to bring on fresh legs as much as you possibly can at the end without endangering your defence.
Well, some of the fresh legs, and Sarifard is going to be coming on, who plays for Omonia in Cyprus, actually scored against Manchester United in the Europa League earlier in the season. He's going to be coming on soon. He's warming up down below. Corner kick for Iran, far side the left. Wales get it away, edge of the area. Ramsey can run forward. Ramsey now looking for the pace of Dan James, and back there is Nurulahi, and out of play it goes for a throw. Will they make the change now? Pat Nevin.
Well, that's one of the poorest pieces of defending I've seen so far. Every time they're in a difficult position, they play their way out from the back, and for some reason they're a little bit of panic from Nurulahi. Not like them at all. So they're feeling the nerves as well as the Welsh.
We have 25 minutes remaining in this opening game, where there is a real sense of jeopardy, because a draw does not suit either side, but it is still 0-0. Williams far side the right, playing now as a right back. 5 Live and BBC Sounds here. Here is Ramsey. Sliding challenge comes in from that far side from Hisafi. It's a Wales throw. Williams. Not much movement for him. Still in that area of the field that is bathed in sunshine. Back it goes to Rodon in the centre circle. Now to the left back, Davis. They've switched from a back three to a flat back four, Wales. Davis on the halfway line, forward to Kiefer Moore. Moore holds it up, tightly marked by Hosseini, who was having a little kick there at him, and has a stern talking to from the Argentinian referee.
They're very, very good with the tackling. They do not let anyone get any space whatsoever, and that is across the entire Iranian team.
Williams with a cross. It's a high one from the right. Headed out by Rezaïn, the right back. Drops back to his feet. Chips it long. Up towards Azmoun. And his header in the direction of the Porto striker, Mehdi Taremi, is seen back by Wales to Hennessy. When you're entering the last 20 minutes of a game, one goal might just be enough for either of these two sides. We have just over 20 minutes remaining. Brennan Johnson, right-hand side of the penalty area, accelerates in towards Bale at the near post. The flick didn't quite come off, and it'll be run out over on that far side by Hosseini. Wales, though, will get a throw.
Well, the assistant referee's going, he didn't see a handball, which is 10 yards away from him. It's clear as day. The Iranian defenders are going mad there, but I keep on looking at Gareth Bale, thinking, Gareth, you've done so little in this game. And you're right, we talked about it waiting for the moment. By the way, how the assistant referee, I'll say it is into the sun, but that is a terrible mistake by him.
Sada Azmoun, who has been a real thorn in the side of the Wales defence throughout this game, is coming off. The Bayer Leverkusen striker. It is going to be like for like. He's getting a great ovation from the Iranian supporters inside the stadium, as well as replacement Karim Ansarifard. James Collins is a former defender. I would imagine you'd think that Rodon and Mepham would be glad to see the back of him.
I'm glad to see the back of him, to be honest. I think that, you know, it's big for Wales. Azmoun going off, he's been sensational. I think all the good stuff has come through him, so seeing him going off is a bonus for Wales. But certainly, you know, this going into this sort of stage of the game, we need Gareth Bale and Aaron Ramsey. They've both been poor in the game. This is where we need the big players to come into the game and show us that bit of magic that they have for so long.
Certainly is. Here is James running forward, stays on his feet with the cross. That was blocked. And just to illustrate the point that James Collins has just mentioned, 10 of the last 14 goals at the last three major tournaments have either seen Bale or Ramsey involved. That's how key they have been when Wales in the past have had their big moments at the Euros, of course, which James Collins was part of. Euro 2016 when they reached the last four, and with Gareth Bale with that crucial penalty as an equaliser. But now Wales will hope that one of those two can step up here as we're midway through the second half, because otherwise the United States will be thinking to themselves, let's avoid defeat against England. That will be their objective as a minimum for that game that you'll hear on BBC Radio 5 Live and also on BBC Sounds at 7 o'clock tonight. England, the United States. John Murray and Rob Green will bring you that commentary. Kelly Cates presenting in the stadium. Here is Taremi for Iran, looking for the run of Ansarifard ahead of him, but it's picked up by Hennessy.
It's so unusual to see that. There are so few teams that are playing double strikers and they're working together. You know, I've often seen two centre-forwards up, but they never pass to each other, they never move for each other. Those two are really, really good together, and it's a throwback to a lot of double striking partnerships you've seen years ago.
Back in 58, Wales drew every match in their three initial group stage games. The draw's not enough here today. Shot from distance. Nurulahi, cross comes in, headed away. Can you believe we've got a steward in front of us who's actually taking a selfie and obstructing our view when that cross came in from the right.
In the row in front of us. That's what's happening to Vicky Sparks all the time in the previous ones. They just stand right in front of you, right in front of the goal. And there's a steward. They're human too. Come on.
You think he'd be having his eyes on the game. It's been such a captivating contest between these two. Still at 0-0, and we're inside the last 20 minutes. Iran have got their fourth corner of the game. It's the far side, the left. It's an outswinger. It's delivered too deep. Comes out to Golazadeh, who's impressed on the right-hand side. The overlap not required. In it goes to Esteloy. He floats over the cross. Downward header picked up by Hennessy at the near post. Taremi was looking to pounce, couldn't get there. Hennessy throws it out underarm towards Ramsey. Every red shirt was back. They don't look a cohesive unit in the minute, Wales.
No, they don't, but they managed to manipulate a situation there where James had the defender 1-on-1, but it was a poor ball, just far too far over the top of him there. And if he'd have it, you know what it's like with James, if he's got a chance to run 1-on-1 with anyone, no one's going to keep with him. So that was an opportunity. It didn't look like one, but it was one.
Ball played by Moore. It runs away. Picked up by Rezaïn, the right back, running to the edge of the area. Staying out wide is Golazadeh. Here he is now on the right. It's a left-footed ball. Cleared and touched behind by Rodon. For a corner kick to Iran. 18 minutes remain 0-0.
A bit too much space there for Golazadeh, wasn't there? It was easy to get him the ball, and the ball's getting towards the boundary line.
Corner's been taken quick. They've done an Agdala under Arnold. In it comes now, edge of the area, down into the ground. That was Purali Anji who had the effort. Cleared by the Welsh defence. Brennan Johnson's got to go it alone. One solitary red shirt against three white shirts, and picked up over on that far side and running forward now was Nur Alahi. Cleared up towards Moore. Iran look the sharper of the two teams.
They do. I mean, Wales had to make a change in the system change. You understand why they're doing it, but they are hanging on. But they have got more players up front. They may well get one chance, and they may only need one chance. And they've got players in the team that can take that chance when it arrives.
Esteloy for Iran. Plays it wide to the right, edge of the area. Taremi back to Esteloy. Shoots low, just wide. Did Hennessy get a touch? Yes, he did. Vital save from Hennessy. His heroics defied Ukraine in the playoff back in Cardiff in June. They've taken the corner quick. Wales have been caught napping. Cross comes in from the left-hand side. Turned behind by Ampadu. Wales are hanging on.
They are hanging on, and they are tired, and they're talking to each other, trying to pull each other together. This is the time to get as tight as they possibly can. As a back four, as it is, they're being stretched, and the gaps have been taken serious advantage of by the Iranian strikers.
From a neutral, you'd have to say Iran should be ahead. They deserve to be ahead. They've hit the post twice in the second half and went close again. Corner kick with the referee's blown his whistle. And the former Brighton player, Jahanbash, is going to be coming on.
Yeah, and to think you're going to add a little bit more liveliness to this Iranian side just now, that's another fear. But 15 minutes ago, it's maybe holding it for 5 or 10 minutes. Are there any changes that Rob Page can make now that will make a difference? That's a really serious question, because there's a lot of tired-looking players in red out there.
They wait to take the corner. Golazadeh's going to take it on this near side, the right. It's left-footed. Again, Hennessy under pressure. Actually more for his own players than anybody else. Goes back in. Hennessy struggling to get there, but they get the ball away. Golazadeh on this near side. Left-footed. Sends it in another cross. Good header out by Keeper Moore inside that penalty area. It keeps coming back. That's an up and under on this occasion. Out it goes towards the right. Bouncing ball. Difficult to control. Golazadeh plays it back. Rezaïn, the right back, plays it forward. Can't get it out towards Golazadeh. Shot from distance on this occasion from Nur Alahi. And it'll be Nico Williams to try and offer a little bit of respite for Wales. But Iran are just picking up the loose balls, Pat Nevin.
Yeah, but they're making some clearer decisions at the moment. I feel Iran are the better side, there's no doubt about that. But they're over-trying in situations, and we're doing the right thing constantly before then. On this occasion, you know, a couple of teams are shoving shots from 35 yards. Not the right thing to do. And I'm sure Hennessy's delighted when they try things like that.
So we're going to be seeing, as well as Jahanbash, formerly of Brighton, Tarabi, who's going to be coming on, who can play out wide. I think Wales will be glad to see the back of Golazadeh if he was to come off. Meanwhile, Ramsey will win a throw for Wales. Certainly, somebody's just indicated there that they're not in a position to... It's Nur Alahi who's gone down, and he's indicated with that motion of the hands rolling over each other that he's going to have to be replaced. Yeah. Meanwhile, Wales are trying to get some instructions across to Ampadu and maybe Carlos Queiroz if Nurulahi is unable to continue, looks like he might have tweaked
that looks like
thigh
joint
muscle.
strain, possibly, or a thigh strain. Abductor muscle.
So Tarabi is going to be coming on, and he is going to be replacing. Well, they're desperate to say. They at the bench haven't realised that Nurulahi can't continue. So at the minute it went up the number 3, which would be Hesafi, the captain, but now they're having to change that. Meanwhile,
I think Gareth Bale coming off. The possibility of that. Would Joe Allen come on, maybe?
Golazade is coming off to be replaced by Jahan Bash. 61 appearances and 4 goals during his 3 seasons at the Amex. Whilst the changes are happening, Joe Allen is going to be coming on. James Collins, just for those who don't know, how crucial is the introduction of Joe Allen?
Yeah, he's massive, Deno. I'm not sure it's the... You know, he's not gonna attack too much, Joe. He's gonna sit in front. Wales have been under the cosh, so they have got to be careful. Obviously, they've got to go for the win. So Joe will sit in front of the back 4 and sort of control it and break play up when he needs to. But you need to get attacking players on the pitch. We need to go and win this game now. All free kicks, all sort of throw-ins, crosses. They need to go into the box and try and hit Bicky for more and work around him.
Well, Joe Allen, who hasn't played since the 17th of September with a hamstring injury, has come on. The 32-year-old.
He's come on for Ampadu. I thought the numbers were suggesting it was going to be Gareth Bale. It's not Gareth Bale, which would be a mad thing to do when you need a goal.
And Nurulahi wasn't able to continue as well, so he has come off, and Chesmi has come on to replace him. So they've made a triple change, have Iran. It is still 0-0. It's only the second match in Group B for these two sides. It's the first of the second wave of games, but it feels like a knockout match because both sides know the importance of the 3 points at 0-0, and we have 12 minutes remaining. Ramsey for Wales tried to lay it off into the path of Nico Williams, and that will be a free kick for Iran.
I mean, the big upside we've got just now is 2 of the best players for Iran are off the pitch now.
Yes.
I mean, they played really, really well. They looked dangerous. Both of them had hit the post. You know, and it was a fantastic piece of play earlier on by Azmoun, and he hit the post. And of course, the other one that hit the post was Winger, and he's gone Golazade as well.
Good hold-up play by Moore on the halfway line. Releases James away on the left-hand side. James checked, and no foul as the challenge had come in from Majid Hosseini. James has stayed down, and the referee has indicated that it will be a throw to Iran.
Yeah, but he's just made 2 terrible mistakes, and happily he's changed his mind now because he was pointing out for a throw for Iran there. There is no chance that was a throw for Iran.
Davis is going to take it. They hung onto the ball as long as they could, but it will be a Wales throw. 11 minutes remain, still locks at 0-0. Where will the breakthrough goal, if at all, where will it come? Away towards our left where the red wall watch anxiously. Still half of them bathed in the sunshine. Or will it be the abundance of white shirts and the horn blaring Iranians?
It's just such an unusual thing to see in the end of a group game. Both managers wanting to get ball to get on quickly, desperate to get the game restarted again. And if it gets to 90 minutes, they'll want 8 or 9 minutes extra time as well.
And knowing this World Cup, you might well get that. You might even get double figures as the ball is played out by Hennessy, all in green away towards our right. Davis plays it a long way back. Rodon now is about 6 yards inside, up from the byline, has to play it back deep into the penalty area for Hennessy, who chips it forward just over the head of Ansarifard, but it will go out of play, and it's an Iran throw. They want to take it quickly. Rezaïn, the right back, headed away by Rodon, and now up towards James. Little touch by Bale. He's a passenger, Gareth Bale, at the moment.
Well, has been most of the game.
Now it's with Taremi. Taremi tries to fire it forward. It was a pacey ball that was blocked by Mepham and cleared eventually by Nico Williams. A tired Gareth Bale towards James, but we all know what Bale is capable of as he now lifts it over the head of Estoloy. Out it goes towards Williams. They need their talisman more than ever now, do Wales. but the move breaks down, and Estaloi, he's now struggling, puts it out of play for a throw. His hands up, he wants to come off.
Yeah, it's very, very odd him doing that. He's had a great game in that centre midfield area, and he usually passes it out from the back, but on that occasion, clearly he's got cramp in one of his on his right calf there, and you know, it's no surprise. I mean, it's such a brilliant pace to this game, and it's gone up and down and up and down, and if you're a midfielder, you're going to feel this absolutely at the end of the game, and for a day or two to come afterwards.
They can make one substitution because they've made that triple change. Remember, you're only allowed to bring on the 5 subs at 3 separate intervals. So at the moment, whilst he's getting the treatment, Estaloi, and doesn't look like he's able to continue, word reaches me, James Collins, that you're getting a little bit animated back there.
Just a little bit, Dano, just a little bit. Just frustration more than anything. Fair play, Iran have had a good spell, but when Wales do get the ball and get a chance to get it down, just the quality, you know, they're trying to play little 1-2s around the box. Brennan Johnson a few moments ago, it's an ideal to get it into the box. I know it might sound a little bit desperate measures, but that's where we're at, you know. We need to get the ball into the box, we need to create a chance to go and win this game, and it just more frustration than anything building.
Well, at the moment, the Welsh support, if they are frustrated, they're turning it into support with a rendition of Yema Ohid, that Welsh folk song, as Estaloi wasn't able to continue, and so Karimi comes on to replace him, and that is the final change for Iran. Ali Karimi plays his football for Turkey, Kayserispor, his 15th appearance for the 28-year-old in the centre of midfield. Wales have 7 minutes of normal time remaining. 0-0 on 5 Live. Bale leaps in the air. It will drop to James. Left-hand side, down by the byline. James delivers the cross. Ramsey hits it. Falls to Brennan Johnson, right-hand side. Back to Nico Williams, low shot. Moore, he's teed up, Ben Davies! The keeper got a touch. He's turned the ball over the top. It was a left-footed rising drive. It was goal-bound. But Hussein Husseini with a fabulous save to keep Wales out.
He did everything right there. He's got power, he's got pace, he's got it on target. But the keeper's maybe just slightly too straight towards him. But a really good moment there for Wales. They believe they can do it.
Corner kick from the right-hand side. It's an outswinger. And it arcs its way out of the penalty area. Collected by Brennan Johnson. 6.5 minutes of normal time remain. Williams with the throw. Headed out. Now the ball is played up towards Taremi. Hennessy has come out of his goal line, off his penalty area. He's clattered in towards Taremi. And Iran are desperate for Hennessy, for him to take action. I wouldn't necessarily say it was Schumacher in 82 against Battiston, but he did catch Taremi. He was out of his penalty area, and the referee has brought out a yellow card.
A yellow card. How incredibly lucky if that is only a yellow card. Because he's wiped him out completely. He's not got the ball. He's through on goal, surely. They must look at that again in VAR, and I think Hennessy's acutely aware of that they will do that. They will look at it again. And it was a simple ball there. It was just played over the top. He was onside. It was tight, but he was onside. He's flicked it in front of Hennessy. Oh, I can't believe that's only yellow. Oh, and he has got to touch it. It's dangerous play. You actually do that to any other part of a football field, 100% red, yellow card, yes?
Yes.
100%.
The referee, hold on, has been instructed by Drew Fisher, the Canadian referee in charge of VAR, to go to the screen. And worryingly, we know what this can mean. There hasn't as yet in this World Cup been a sending off. But they are now having a review for a possible red card because Hennessy clattering into Taremi. And Wales' problems could be set to be compounded here in a game they have to win. He's caught him in the head with his knee.
Yeah, if you go for that there and you come out with your studs up like that and you cut him with a knee in the head, you've got to win the ball. And even winning the ball, it's still a dangerous act. So if he gets away with this, he's been unbelievably lucky.
The referee has looked at the monitor. He's coming now out onto the pitch. He's reaching for his back pocket. And the first red card at the Qatar World Cup is going to be shown to the Wales goalkeeper Wayne Hennessy. He's rescinded the yellow. He's shown a red. Hennessy is dismissed. And Wales are down to 10 men for the last 4 minutes of normal time. James Collins.
Yeah, it's definitely a red card, guys. I knew it straight away. As soon as the ref's got his yellow out, you can see it's the wrong decision, and it's an absolute disaster for Wales. And it just sums up, what the amount of time Iran have got in with that ball. It just seemed, Wales give the ball away, one straight ball through the middle, and they seem to be one-on-one with Wayne Hennessy. He's made a decision to come out, and it's an awful decision, and it's an awful challenge, and you've got to say it is a red card, and it doesn't look good for Wales from here on in.
Wales' most capped goalkeeper Wayne Hennessy, his World Cup over. Danny Ward comes on. Aaron Ramsey is the player who is sacrificed, and Danny Ward, who's actually played regular football in the Premier League, unlike Hennessy, has got to come on for the last 3 minutes of normal time, but you can bet there's going to be at least 10, 12, maybe even longer in terms of additional time.
There's been a load of injuries, and we've had this stoppage here. I would be surprised if it was less than 10, really.
I would too. Wales, meanwhile, have now got to defend this free kick, and Ward, the substitute goalkeeper, on a dramatic afternoon. In it goes now, headed out by Joe Allen. Played back out towards that far side. Plenty of white shirts to aim for, but it was a low ball in, and it was cleared away by Gareth Bale. And now Wales, damage limitation. They've got to protect the point, but it might not be good enough in the circumstances. Iran, with the extra man, are going to go in search of a late winner here. Taremi pulls it back. Ansarifan takes a deflection, might come back out to Ansarifan. Pulls back the shot, and it's just wide. It was very, very close from Tarabi on the edge of the area, right-footed, rifled wide. They've had enough chances to win it, Iran. It's still 0-0.
Yeah, but he scored the goal, and they're fighting so hard at the back there, Wales. But you get the feeling from here on into the end, there are going to be chances. They are going to have to work even harder than they've done so far. But it's interesting, Wales, they're trying to leave two players up, because I suppose you still actually have to win it. You almost have to win it. So for Wales, yeah, they probably take the point now, but they're still trying to sneak a win.
Ward with the clearance downfield. Up it goes in the air from Joe Allen. The Red Wall are trying to do their bit. Land of my fathers reverberates away towards our left-hand side, trying to suck the ball goalwards, as here is Brennan Johnson. Clearance though by the Iranian defence, and Rodon is forced to go back, and it's going to be all eyes on the fourth official down below as to how much added on time there will be against some tired legs of Wales. We saw how much they were fatigued after the energy levels that they put in against the United States in this stadium on Monday. Joe Allen forward. Karimi's forward ball to Rodon on the halfway line. Davis tries to roll away, but Wales haven't really threatened enough during this game as the ball goes out towards Johnson. And a point might not be good enough, Pat Nevin.
It may not be good enough, but all you do is you keep on fighting. You just keep on hoping that you get some sort of chance. If Wales can get a free kick or a corner kick, just one opportunity that far up the field, they can get their chance to go and attack it. I think you won't be happy, but you'll be mildly relieved if you're Wales, because
9 minutes, a minimum of 9 minutes added on time. We were expecting a little bit more than that. Iran are on the attack. Rezaein's forward ball. Up it goes now towards Tarabi. He pulls the ball back. Terrific interception, sliding forward from Joe Allen. Taremi was waiting there. Iran give away a free kick on the halfway line. Challenge on keeper Moore by Rezaein, the right back.
every time Iran attack, your heart is in your mouth, because they've played it brilliantly up until the very final ball. And I don't mean the final pass, I mean the final strike on goal. They've never quite got it there. Every time they play it forward, they are a good technical side, but they've not put this game to bed yet. And because of that, there's still hope for Wales.
Davies to take the free kick, just over the halfway line. It's got to go long for the 10 men of Wales. Left-footed, headed on by Johnson, right corner of the area. He finds more. The touch was a heavy one. As he tried to turn and move towards his left, it went away off his right foot.
Yeah, I don't know if you want it to fall to him there, with his back to goal. Maybe Gareth would be better to get that sort of ball in there. It wasn't exactly a chance, but he should have done better with it.
Iran are on the attack now on the right-hand side. Rodon, who's been on a yellow card, comes across, ushers the ball out of play for a throw. And in fact, he's given a free kick to Wales.
I'm surprised at that. I think Wales can be slightly relieved at that. And they're trying to slow it down. Obviously, Iran wanted to carry on there, but Wales have decided, no, there's no point in going this hunt. You're constantly running at top speed. Don't do that. You've got 10 men, you will exhaust yourself. So, given a chance for Ward to put the ball long. A little bit of a nod on Gareth in the end of it. What do you think?
You said it earlier on about Gareth Bale. He's hardly been in the game, but it wouldn't surprise you. He has produced some incredible moments in his illustrious career, but it would be the ultimate fairy tale for Wales if he was to pop up in the next 7 minutes with something here at 0-0. Joe Allen plays it back. Rodon hits it forward. James goes to ground. Free kick. 10 yards inside the Iran half, just in from the left touchline.
It's a lot about desperation for Karimi there. He's desperate to get the ball. He wants to get another chance at a break. But that's exactly what Wales want. It's a chance to lump it in there, go and attack it at the back post. At the moment, Kiefer Moore stopped winning the free kicks. This is the time to go and win ahead and knock it down for his teammates to attack.
Wales fans, do you believe? Davies goes long. It's a searching ball, but the keeper comes a long way off his goal line. Husseinian now throws it out from the edge of the area, and the counter-attack is on with Iran. The ball is played out wide towards Mohammed, but sliding back was Nico Williams, now as a right-back. Out of play it goes for a throw. Under 6 minutes of stoppage time remain, still locked at 0-0. The substitutes down below, all in their bibs for Iran. Away towards our right-hand side, can't sit still. They're standing up, such is the tension. But it goes out of play, and it will be a goal kick that Ward is in no hurry to take.
The one positive I can say to Wales fans, I know you're on the edge of your seats, and it's fearful sitting listening to this. However, the technical ability that they've lost with the substitutions is having an effect on Iran. They don't look quite as dangerous in the final third. And I don't want to put the markers on it, but it's probably looking a little bit better than you think it does when you're down to 10 men.
Rezaïn, the right-back, has just been booked by the referee. I think he was telling Mario Escobar to show a yellow card to the substitute keeper, Danny Ward. So he has been shown yellow as the ball is nodded on. That was a brave header by Mepham. He got a blow in the face as well off a stray boot from Jahanbash. And that will mean that there might potentially be more added on time to the 9. In fact, Jahanbash has shown a yellow card, and that means that the former Brighton player will miss the final group game against the United States next Tuesday. It's his second yellow card. Let's go back to James Collins.
Times here, Deno, isn't it? I've said it a few times now, just the quality. We've had a few deep free kicks. We've hit Dan James on one of them from the halfway line, who's the smallest lad on the pitch. Why are we not hitting it into the middle of the box? Why is, Danny Ward, he will this time, but then Ben Davies had a free kick straight into the goalkeeper's arms. I've moaned on about it all morning, but the quality really, from certainly in this latter stages, has been terrible.
Yeah, haven't really looked like scoring. You couldn't say that in the second half against the United States, but hold on, James and Moore have done well. Moore with a cutback. James helps win it back in the penalty area. Loose ball. Williams, he scuffed it, but it falls to Brennan Johnson. Down into the ground it goes. Never really got a purchase on it on his right foot. Saved by the goalkeeper Husseini. He releases the ball and Iran have to go forward now.
The problem with for Wales is when they do get forward, they leave huge gaps.
Taremi running forward, plays it out towards Rezaïn, the right back. His shot is blocked and the ball will cannon away towards the halfway line.
If you're Welsh, you've got to be so happy that the two best players, Azmoun and Golazadi, are not on this field just now, because I think Wales would have lost this game had they still been on the field.
Joe Allen goes in for an excellent 50-50 challenge, which he wins. As a result, Wales try and make the way through the middle, but Moore can't get there. And this is Jahanbash. Jahanbash to the edge of the area. Excellent block challenge coming in from Rodon. They're dead out on their feet there, some of the Wales players. Rodon can hardly move. He's dropped down to his feet. Such was the ferocity of that 50-50 challenge. Gareth Bale, 2.5 minutes remain of normal time. So many of that Iranian bench are almost encroaching onto the pitch in their desperation to try and get decisions in their favour.
But the decision is on their favour. Gareth Bale there just mucking about in the left back position. He gives away the ball. It is a throw into Iran. The Welsh players don't understand that, but the referee and the assistant, they've got that right this time, and it's in a dangerous area.
They're actually saying that the ball is flat. I think that was that challenge from Rodon and Jahanbash on the edge of the area. So Rezaïn to take the throw. 2 minutes of added on time remain. Cross from the right-hand side, cleared by Allen inside the penalty area. You're listening to 5 Live. For any of the drama that has seen this first red card at the World Cup, you can always rewind through the BBC Sounds app if you haven't yet got it. But Wales are hanging on. The ball forward. But if anything, they're cancelling each other out. Certainly it's not good for a game that both realistically had to win. Taremi, out it goes towards the far left-hand side. Back into the feet of Taremi for Ansarifan. Cleared by Wales. Johnson tries. Out to Ansarifan, who attacks left-hand side, does a little step over, and the cutback swept away from Joe Allen. Comes out towards Karimi! Karimi with a low right-footed shot, finds the bottom right-hand corner. Chesney from distance.
It's absolutely extraordinary. I don't know, last time I've seen so many people on a field. It's every single substitute, most of the coaching staff, every Welsh player just about is lying on their back or on the front. They have given everything. And just now, right at the end, they've lost to a brilliant, brilliant hit. Finally, the Iranians have got a ball on target, pinged into the bottom corner, and it looks like there's no way back whatsoever for Wales now.
Roosevelt Chesney from distance, right-footed. It's a knockout blow for Wales and a blow for them reaching the knockout stages. He hit it from distance. There was nothing that Ward, the substitute goalkeeper, could do. He was at full stretch. Iran lead Wales by 1-0.
Well, we talked about the substitutes coming on, and much liveliness you're going to have to add to it. Chesney he's been okay since he came on, but he had the energy to get the power behind the shot, and he got it with real power. Keeper was slightly, he couldn't see it. It came through bodies as well. It's painful to say. It was a great goal. It's painful to say. It was deserved as well. But what efforts most of that Welsh team, particularly, it has to be said, the defenders have put in, and your heart bleeds for them.
Roosevelt Chesney, the substitute. The 9 minutes of added on time are actually over. We're now at the discretion of the referee. But Iran, who have been so unfortunate in this second half, have got the goal that they deserve. Brennan Johnson at the edge of the area, cleared by Mohammed, and the Iranian supporters, all in white, dotted around the stadium, are preparing to celebrate, because the 10 men of Wales have fallen behind right at the end of the contest, and for what has been a dramatic second half. There isn't much time now for Wales to respond. Who'll bring the ball away. Jahanbash is going through the middle. Taremi plays it now to Rezaïn. Rezaïn chips it forward. That's the second goal. Ramin Rezaïn, the right back, has clinched it for Iran. 2 goals late on in stoppage time. And Wales' first World Cup appearance in 64 years is likely to end in the group stages. Their first defeat in the group stages of a World Cup. But the 10 men of Wales are now losing by 2-0, and Iran will move temporarily top of Group B.
Well, the first thing you have to say, the passion in this stadium just now is absolutely incredible. The break there, Wales had to throw everyone forward, so you're going to leave yourself open to that. But they were tired, and we're talking about the technical abilities of this Iranian team. They just play the right ball at the right time, and the little dink finish there is a thing of absolute beauty there. You know, if your right fullback's coming up there, all the way back there, and he's the calmest man in this stadium there, when he clicks it over the goalkeeper. 2-0, it is harsh, but the correct team in terms of quality and in chances is winning this game.
So Iran now lead by 2-0. They've never beaten a European opponent at the World Cup in 9 previous attempts. They've conceded 20 goals, 6 of course were against England. But they have now beaten European opposition for the first time in a World Cup. And the Iranian players, who've had to deal with so much from an emotional point of view, as well as a physical point of view, with all of the civil unrest and the protests and the pressures that they've had to deal with, have put in a real performance to get a deserved win. And it's Wales' World Cup hopes now that lie in tatters. And the Iranian players can't believe it. They're overcome by emotion. They have beaten Wales by 2-0.